Ready? In every life, some rain must fall, and you'll get wet as your sorrow calls. Oh, the sun will rise on a brand new morn. You'll be warm and dry and freshly born.
With support from Judith Robert and in the memory of our good friend Tom Kabazinskis, and with additional support from Marshall County Community Foundation and the First Source Bank. From historic downtown Plymouth, Indiana, where the Lincoln Highway and Michigan Road cross the banks of the beautiful Yellow River, it's the Wild Rose Moon Radio Hour. Tonight we have a new show inspired by dandelions, the oft-maligned and misunderstood early flower of spring, an excellent source of vitamins A, C, and K. Dandelions also contain vitamin E, folate, and small amounts of other B vitamins. What's more, dandelion greens provide a substantial amount of several minerals, including iron, calcium, magnesium, and potassium. They'll be popping up soon, so get ready to chomp down on a big yellow flower soon. They're scrunchy, delicious, and good for you. And speaking of tasty morsels, tonight we have a musical feast planned for you featuring the award-winning singer-songwriter from Northwest Indiana, Patti Shaffner. Patti will be performing her original work tonight in front of our Clorox-bathed SM7B microphones. And accompanying her on bass and cello will be our own Matthew Carter Scutchfield. In honor of Poetry Month, we will also be featuring the poetry of Alaskan poet Kayleen Johnson Sullivan, as read by Cindy Davis. Also, Sydney will be reading one of her own poems, accompanied by Cindy Boner on the mood card. We'll also be featuring an original song by music director Leighton and John Baylor. And now, recorded live from the Wild Rose Moon Performing Arts Center in historic downtown Plymouth, Indiana, where the legendary Reese Theater is soon to enjoy its second lifetime of excitement and inspiration for the benefit of the local and regional community, here is the radical rascal of all things lunar, or lunatic, your radio hour host, George Schricker!
Thank you. The river goes round, around the bend. The river goes round, round, round till the very end. And when it stops, woo,
It starts again.
yeah, won't be long till the river goes round. It won't be long till the river goes round and round and round, my friends. All right. Jacob Marino, how are you? Man, the first breath of spring is upon us. I came in today, and the trees were budding out, all on South Michigan. South Michigan is such a marvelous street here in Plymouth. And I was coming in, and all the trees were budding out, and just beautiful. The magnolias are out. The forsythia are budding like a, just beautiful. Isn't it great?
It's amazing.
Yeah, and what a crew we have here today. Earlier we were talking about pirates. It's quite something with all these masks, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like a masquerade ball in here.
Oh. Would you like to dance, Jeff?
Absolutely.
Anyway, we've got a great show here today. And I'm so excited about having Patti Shaffner with us. She is over from Miller, the region. That's what we used to call the region. Is that a derogatory term?
For those of us who are region rats, absolutely not.
Oh,
we
okay.
live in the region.
But maybe when people say it that are from outside, maybe that's not cool, or is that okay?
No, it's still cool with us.
Okay.
Because we're just region rats.
All right, that's great. Well, listen, I know that you. Oh, I'm getting ready to step on stage here.
George,
What?
I forgot to hit record on everything.
Oh, on everything.
Yes.
Oh.
That's a first.
This happens.
No, it really doesn't.
No, it's okay, Nate. It's good to know that we're all fallible.
I think that's
Yeah.
the first time that's ever
I think it was the pirate thing that threw you off. Arg! Walk the plank, matey! Walk the plank. Okay, we're going to boot this back up. All right. We were. I'll fix my mistake, though, so that's good. I'll remember to fix my mistake. Yeah, my mistake.
That's not a priori argument.
Wait just a minute. I want a little note to Jacob.
So we're going to take those up a little faster, those read ends. We're going to leave less time. Okay, so get ready to just wait it, pause, go right back into the next paragraph.
All right.
Are you resetting the clock? Do you have to reset the clock?
Yeah.
We get to.
We get to.
This is a verse that's kind of neat. What show is this, by the way?
44.
44.
Where'd they find it from?
We'll look at the spreadsheet later.
Okay, ready. Let's roll them.
All right.
In every life, some rain must fall, and you'll get wet as your sorrow calls. But the sun will rise on a brand new morn. You'll be warm and dry and freshly born.
With support from Judith Robert and Tom Kep, and in the memory of our good friend Tom Kepazinskis, and with additional support from Marshall County Community Foundation and the First Source Bank. From historic downtown Plymouth, Indiana, where the Lincoln Highway and Michigan Road cross the banks of the beautiful Yellow River, it's the Wild Rose Moon Radio Hour. Tonight we have a new show inspired by dandelions, the oft-maligned and misunderstood early flower of spring, an excellent source of vitamins A, C, and K. Dandelions also contain vitamin E, folate, and small amounts of other B vitamins. What's more, dandelion greens provide a substantial amount of several minerals, including iron, calcium, magnesium, and potassium. They'll be popping up soon, so get ready to chomp down on a big yellow flower soon. They're scrunchy, delicious, and good for you. And speaking of tasty morsels, tonight we have a musical feast planned for you featuring the award-winning singer-songwriter from Northwest Indiana, Patti Shaffner. Patti will be performing her original work tonight in front of our Clorox-bathed SM7B microphones, and accompanying her on bass and cello will be our own Matthew Carter Scutchfield. In honor of Poetry Month, we will also be featuring the poetry of Alaskan poet Kayleen Johnson Sullivan, as read by Cindy Davis. Also, Cindy will be reading one of her own poems, accompanied by Cindy Boner on the moo card. We'll also be featuring an original song by music director Lightnin' John Baylor. And now, recorded live from the Wild Rose Moon Performing Arts Center in historic downtown Plymouth, Indiana, where the legendary Reese Theater is soon to enjoy its second lifetime of excitement and inspiration for the benefit of the local and regional community. Here is the radical rascal of all things lunar, or lunatic, your radio hour host, George Schricker!
The river goes round, around the bend. The river goes round, round, round till the very end. And when it stops,
It starts again.
whoa, yeah,
Won't be long
won't be long,
till the river goes round.
won't be long.
Won't be long.
Oh, till the river goes round and round and round, my friends. Well, welcome to the Wild Rose Moon Radio Hour. What an exciting day in the studio. And boy, the studio's got a lot more masked people in it today. They're all masked up. We were talking about pirates earlier. And how are you, Jacob? What do you think about this crew here today?
Yeah, we got so many masks, it might as well be a masquerade ball.
Oh, well, I think I'd start dancing with Matthew, maybe. It would be great. Yeah, anyway, no, I don't want to waste away the whole hour with my delicate footwork. It's a beautiful spring. Have you seen all the flowering plants and the dandelions we talked about coming up soon, and also daffodils? Have you seen the daffodils? We have such great daffodils at our house, and all the forsythia doing their thing. Have you ever seen that poem about forsythia? It's like a piece of, I forget what concrete poetry, I think they call that, when they make the branches go and they've got forsythia branches, kind of makes the shape of the plant. It's kind of an interesting piece. Anyway, we've got an exciting show. Have you had a good spring so far?
Oh yeah, it's been amazing.
Yeah, it's great. I'm looking forward to a walk later on today. Well, we have a wonderful guest here from the region,
True.
Miller, Indiana, and we had her for our Moonlight program, and she was just terrific. And I'd always wanted to get you over for the radio show anyway, but we did the Moonlight, and you were so great on that. I was watching that, Patti. But tell us a little bit about yourself. You were inspired as a singer by your father, weren't you?
I was indeed. My father loved to sing. He had this beautiful baritone voice, and he kind of taught me to sing harmonies. He liked to do barbershop and all the American songbook. And so it's like, you sing this part. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, Dad, I'll sing that part. So I learned to do harmony early.
Yeah, were you kind of a bouncy young child? Kind of
yeah,
doing
a
things
monkey.
Yeah,
A monkey. I had 360-acre farm to
Oh
run
wow,
around
to
on,
play
yeah.
around on. Oh,
Yeah.
that's cool. And then later I was reading, and you've got 3 or 4 albums of different kinds with different people.
Yes, it's true. I
you
have my Song Sisters, which is the folk trio that I still work with.
And those
Amy
ladies-
Dixon
yeah.
Kohler out of Fox River Grove, and Sue Fink from Chicago.
Yeah, so fake.
And she's actually started a virtual dream cafe, and Mark Dvorak was just on that
Yeah.
this past week.
Yeah, she and Mark are friends.
Yeah, exactly. So Amy and I as well. And then, so we do folk and we sing on each other's tunes. Then I also had, for a while, I had a swing trio, the Uptown Trio. And my husband was part of that. He was the bass player. We had a piano player, Waz, from Valparaiso. And eventually we stayed a trio, but we added a drummer. So then we were still the Uptown Trio, but there were 4 of us.
Well, when I listened to your interview on our Moonlight program, which, by the way, is at Wild Rose Moon Media YouTube, you can access that off of our website, wildrosemoon.com. But if you look at, that's a great interview with John Baylor. And you reveal so much about yourself and your songwriting. It's just really an in-depth piece. But I just loved listening to you talk about songs and songwriting. We'll do a little bit of that in a minute, but I'd really like to hear a song.
Absolutely. How about something a little jazz inspired? All right. This is Balancing Act. It's a crazy world, gonna have to get away from it all. Such a crazy world, there ain't no safe place to fall. And moment to moment it's a balancing act. You gotta stay light on your feet, ready to move if the blow comes your way, or lean into something sweet in a crazy world. It's a crazy world, you need someone on your side to help you steer the boat, stay afloat, find the breeze, help you turn the tide. And moment to moment it's a gambler's game, hoping to beat all the odds, saying a prayer as the wheel starts to spin to the fates or the unseen gods in a crazy world. It's easy to see how it all falls apart, 'cause we try to hang on to the prize. But I hope that you'll come and dance and take a chance and look this fool in the eyes. It's a crazy world, here we are on the edge looking over the side. Such a crazy world, who'd have thought together we'd take this ride? And moment to moment it's a balancing act. Love is for fools, they say, but we're heading off on a wing and a prayer to the light of a brand new day in a crazy world. Easy to see how it all falls apart, 'cause we try to hang on to the prize. But I hope that you'll come and dance, take a chance, and look this fool in the eyes. It's a crazy world, here we are on the edge looking over the side. Such a crazy world, who'd have thought together we'd take this ride? 'Cause moment to moment it's a balancing act. Yes, love is for fools, they say, but we're heading off on a wing and a prayer to the promise of a brand new day in a crazy world. Yes, such a crazy world. Crazy, crazy, crazy world.
Whoa.
Thanks.
Whoa. That is so classic, man. It's classy and classic. It is right in the groove of all the most beautiful jazz songs I've heard. It's
Why, thank you.
It's right up at the top there. It's just lovely. It swings. It just, and you sing it so well. You're really such
Thanks.
an excellent singer, and that's just terrific. So you have a background in performance and acting too.
I do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you because you played like Peter Pan in something, right?
No, actually, I didn't play Peter Pan. The very first play I saw was Peter Pan at the Memorial Theater in Gary, Indiana, and I thought that looked so much fun. And who knew that it was going to take till I was 37 to actually end up on stage in a play?
That was a traveling troupe that came through, or
I don't know. I was a little kid, so
Yeah.
it may have been like the Gary Players or something like that.
the only reason I asked that because I know that there were traveling groups that went across the country because I saw some at Morris when I was a kid.
Sure.
And so I just wondered if it was. But anyway, because there were some famous people in that. But regardless of that, your experience with theater, you were talking about the living out parts of yourself in that interview. You were talking about living out parts of yourself through characters.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And how does that work exactly, do you think?
Oh, exactly. Well, it's always a subtle thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's kind of what's going on the inside of you
Right.
that finds an expression. Perhaps one of the last roles that I got to play was in the musical La Cage aux Folles.
Yeah.
And I was sort of the villainess, but a kind villain. But it was interesting to find that part of myself that was manipulative, because we all have those parts.
Sure.
And get to live her out in grand expression on the stage. as
Right.
Jacqueline, und chez Jacqueline.
Yeah. That's great. And it's such a, I was thinking about that and how theater is an act of empathy with these characters, finding, often trying to find, the good parts of even evil characters, I think it makes it truer to life.
Well, actually, it's interesting. A friend of mine who's a teacher from Hawaii, he says, who is the hero of the villain's story?
Right.
It gives you perspective, right?
Yeah, it does. Anyway, you were talking about growing up and singing with your father. Were there other other experiences that shaped you as a child?
As far as music was concerned?
Yeah, as far as music.
Well, other than the fact that my dad sang just about every morning, and that he would sing in the car, and so it just seemed like such a natural thing to do. And it was apparently something that I did well enough that I ended up singing a solo at the age of 8.
Wow.
And who knew? They just picked me out and went, you.
Now, this experience with the Song Sisters, tell me a little bit about that. How did that form and how did that come together? Because there's always stories behind it.
There is. It was kind of fun because some of you remember MySpace before Facebook, before all of the other Instagram and Twitter and TikTok and all that. There was MySpace. And my bass player, Scott Pizzera, suggested that I get a MySpace. I went, okay, sure. So I went looking for friends, and I came across Andrew Calhoun, who is somebody that I'd known who used to play at the Court Restaurant in Valparaiso.
Right, we talked about that.
And searching through his friends, and I find this woman, Sue Fink, and she has this song called Black Sheep Kid. And I listened to it and thought, this is great. I need to know this woman. So we actually ended up connecting through MySpace. And she invited me to be part of an In the Round, and along with Amy Dixon Kohler and Jeannie T. Arrigo. And the four of us did an In the Round, and people loved that we were actually kind of doing harmonies and said, do you guys ever do it together? So Song Sisters got born out of that, and we've now been singing together. We're never exactly sure, but it's probably somewhere around 10 years.
Now, the songs on the album that you did, are those all originals?
They're all originals, yeah. They were recorded at Davenport's in Chicago by Bruce Roper of the Sons of the Never Wrong.
Wow!
Yeah.
Did you ever did you share songs on that, or did everybody write different songs? Or?
Oh, we each wrote our own songs and then sang harmonies on each other's tunes. And
Okay.
As time has gone by, we've picked up a few cover tunes. Actually, I think, and now that I think about it, the one cover tune that we did that night was "Kinder," which was sung by the Copper Women, who did the sirens in "Oh Brother, Where Art Thou?"
Oh, wow.
And it's
What
a
a great
beautiful
motion
a
picture.
cappella harmony.
Yeah, that's a great soundtrack, the whole soundtrack. to
It
that.
really is.
Yeah. So classic. Well, do another song for us.
I would, and I'd like to tell you a little bit about this song.
Okay.
This is a song called Eve Got Bored, and it was inspired by a poem by a young woman by the name of Danusha Lamaris, and her poem was Eve After, in which she questioned whether or not paradise was paradise, and the poem stayed with me so long that I ended up writing a song about it. So that's the inspiration for this. This is Eve Got Bored. The garden was divine, the sky an endless shade of perfect blue, a paradise built just for two. In every way, at night the stars align, angels sing a lullaby, standing watch till morning's nigh. Another perfect day. The same perfume, the birds sing the same old tune. After a while, you might want something new. What if Eve got bored, counting petals on a perfect rose, staring down at perfect toes, day after day? Her seeds of discontent were buried in the sameness there. The weight becomes too much to bear. She dreams of change. Her hand wraps around the fruit. She takes a bite. Then her eyes open wide with a different light. So the story goes, cast into uncertainty. Isn't that what we call being free? To choose our way. But was it by design? Perfection meant to fall apart, meant to fail right from the start. Who can say? But whatever our fate may be, this was not a fall. We will find our way home after all. Eve got bored and dreamt of knowing everything. Thank you.
Patti Shaffner, what a wonderful songwriter you are. We're going to talk a little bit more about songwriting when we come back in our last section of the show. But next up, we have some poems by Kayleen Johnson Sullivan, all the way from Alaska in honor of National Poetry Month. And we're going to perform those and hear a song by John Baylor. So thank you very much, Patti, and we'll see you at the turnaround.
With support from Judith Robert and in memory of our friend Tom Kapazinskis, Marshall County Community Foundation, the First Source Bank, and the Friends of the Wild Rose Moon, you're listening to the Wild Rose Moon Radio Hour.
All right, welcome back to the Wild Rose Moon Radio Hour. We're here with Patti Shaffner, and we're going to hear a few more of her beautiful songs. But I'm doing this out of sequence. I just realized that. That's my mistake. Okay. All right. Can you... Oh, okay, okay. Welcome back to the Wild Rose Moon Radio Hour. We're really excited to have with us Cindy Davis today. Cindy's done a lot of good poetry reading for us, and Cindy has a background in English literature, right? Correct? Am I correct about that?
That would be correct.
Okay, and you're reading some very special poems today for National Poetry Month.
Yes, I am. I'm reading 3 poems by Kayleen Johnson Sullivan, and then one of my own.
Good, and you're being accompanied.
I am. I'm being accompanied by the fantastic Cindy Boner
And
on the Moog harp.
Yes, and Matthew Carter Scutchfield is operating the Moog synthesizer today for us.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
All right.
I can't wait to hear these poems and interested about it.
Kayleen Johnson Sullivan lives in Alaska, in Eagle River, which is northeast of Anchorage, on a small farm where she and her husband enjoy sharing the changing seasons with their horses and dogs. These poems were written during the COVID-19 pandemic as part of her Letters to Eva collection of writings for her young granddaughter. Kayleen has written several nonfiction books about Alaska. You can find more information about her work at www.kayleen.us. "1-year-old in quarantine. Since we cannot see you in person, the video shows your first steps outdoors, as if you had been transported to another universe, which of course you had. There is an entire world outside your little house in the big woods. You squatted slowly, orienting yourself closer to the safety of Earth. Closer to the ground, your tiny fingers picked up a rock, as if holding something small brought you back to yourself. The wow of something you can carry is less overwhelming than the whoa of the cosmos. We are all, little Eva, grasping at pebbles." This next poem is entitled Morning Chores. Snowflakes land on my face, tiny pinpricks of sky. Still dark, the wind is down, temperature's up, 5 degrees, and the horses are hungry. Dogs romp in the snow before getting down to the business of walking horses from the barn to their feeders. Weather is a constant for these creatures. They live and breathe it, shiver and bask in it. It has gone from windy and -16 to this: cloudy skies and blessed calm, snow falling like stars. I am but a gatekeeper. They have each other. A horse fell on the ice yesterday, and the herd gathered around, muzzles down, as if to say, "What's this?" I went to help, but the gelding knew the job was his. He nipped her on the flank. "Get up!" Predators abound. So she struggled once again and succeeded. In a collective sigh, they all dispersed to once again argue over who should first enter the open gate. October. A yellow leaf clings alone to its branch in a breeze that has wrested away its companions, small gold medallions, tossed like telegrams to announce the change of season. This one leaf clings fiercely from a slim thread of the memory of summer. It will not go easily. This is the naked season of gray, after autumn's fine brilliance. Colorless now, as though the lifeblood of the world had drained away. A reminder of the thousands now gone from us in a year we will not soon forget. There is a dull ache, a long loneliness for the purifying snow, to lay itself upon the bones of the landscape. Winter's cloak will not drape as a shroud, but as a blanket, a clean Sabbath over the world tucked in at rest. Again, April being Poetry Month, the editor of Panoply Magazine, a local online arts magazine, asked people to write a poem in response to a work of visual art produced by some of Panoply's artists. Please imagine a completely white canvas with the image of a large, vibrantly colored crane, wings unfurled, seemingly on tiptoe. I wanted to write something with meaning, as powerful as the suffering that's resulted from the pandemic. You be the judge. Crane dancing in dangerous place. Master, this is yours. This white, blank, empty, soundless nothing that befell us. Some of us have not died. The danger is we are afraid that all is lost nonetheless. Here is your space. After all, you are Lord of the Dance, are you not? Of course, there is a crane dancing in the dangerous place.
Well, thank you so much, Cindy Davis, Cindy Boner, and Matt Scutchfield working that beautiful Moog synthesizer that did so much for that harp. It was just glorious to hear all that working together. It's so nice here at the Moon right now. We have such a great crew of musicians and producers working with us, and it just keeps growing, and we're very, very lucky to have so many talented people around us. And one of those talented people came with us from the very beginning, and someone that I recognize as having the perfect talents, especially for that theme song. And also, he's a great songwriter, written hundreds of songs. And he is John Baylor. John, it's good to see you here today. Let's have a nice hand for John.
Thank you. Thank you, George.
John, you're a teacher at Mechaniqua Mechaniqua High School, right?
Yep, that's correct.
And I heard you telling a story the other day about working with your students on, was it poetry? And you were sharing Wordsworth, weren't you?
Oh, yeah. I gave them a couple of stanzas out of a Wordsworth poem in the middle of class.
Yeah.
Just something I recited from memory, which I think kind of caught their attention a little bit. But
you recite Wordsworth from memory?
Well, a little bit, yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, why don't you do a little?
Well, I just did a couple of stanzas out of The Tables Turned. Which
okay,
is,
that's fine.
Sweet is the lore which nature brings. Our meddling intellect misshapes the beauteous forms of things. We murder to dissect. Enough of science and of art. Close up those barren leaves. Come forth and bring with you a heart that watches and receives.
Oh, well, beautiful words. Beautiful words.
And that's what they did, too. They clapped when I got done with it.
Oh, I know. They probably gave you a standing ovation.
I tell my students all the time, because I've done a lot of music performing, and I did that professionally for several years. And I'd say when I get done with a song, like people are always clapping for me, because kids would ask, like, do you like teaching or do you like playing music more? I say, then I come into school and nobody ever claps for me.
Yeah.
But every now and then I get a little bit.
I imagine you know you're in trouble if they get standing up on their desk, right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, give us a song, John.
Okay. I'll do a number for you. I don't do a lot of love songs. I do a lot of like heartbreak break songs and like songs about, like the futility of human existence. And like songs about how when we die, we turn into bones and squishy stuff. And then I do some comedy songs too, and those are mostly like about squishy stuff also. some poets and writers, they like devote their lives to exploring the dichotomy of light and dark, and I kind of explore the dichotomy of squishy stuff and stuff that's not quite as squishy. This whole time during the poetry, I was trying to think of like what's the worst possible way I could introduce this song, because the truth is it's quite a tender song for me, and like so much so that's hard to look it in the eye. But this is one that I wrote when I was 18 years old, and just a nice, pure love song.
I'm not the kind to take away from anything that God has made, but it just might do him injustice to give this serenade, 'cause everywhere there's beauty, these English words cannot describe. So I just hope that you imagine what must be on my mind. She'll fly like an angel. She'll fly like an angel. She'll fly like an angel one of these days. I used to think she was attractive, but not enough to make me faint. I used to think she was pretty, but now I know she's a saint. She'll fly like an angel. She'll fly like an angel. She'll fly like an angel one of these days. And all of heaven shines when she's standing by my side. Now I know, now I know. And all the whole world sings when she's standing next to me. Now I know, now I know. Yeah, now she means the world to me. Yeah, now she means the world to me. Yeah, now she brings the world to me. She'll fly like an angel. She'll fly like an angel. She'll fly like an angel one of these days.
And you wrote that when?
Senior year of high school.
Wow. Man, I was melting. I wonder what she felt like. Unbelievable. Well, up next we have...
It didn't do the job.
Oh. It was way over her head, I can tell you that. So up next, we have Patti Shaffner with her beautiful songs, too. Thank you. That was a blessing. Just a blessing, John. Okay.
With support from Judith Robert and in the memory of our good friend Tom Kapazinskis, and with additional support from Marshall County Community Foundation and the First Source Bank, you're listening to the Wild Rose Moon Radio Hour.
Welcome back to the Wild Rose Moon Radio Hour. So great to be here. And we're going to get back to Patti Shaffner, but first we have a very special moment planned. Don't we, Jacobs?
That's correct, Maestro. We have some words of wisdom from our ever-fashionable and wizened sound engineer, Mr. Nate Butler.
Wait again. Let me do it again. Good.
There's nothing so profound or great as a moment with Nate.
Nate Butler.
Yes, George.
It's so lovely to see you here today. You had your hands full with all this wiring.
Yeah, there's a lot of
A
technology.
lot of stuff going on here.
Did you hear that?
Oh,
That's like the jokes.
where is that coming from?
Oh, it's a soundboard here. Isn't that cool?
The soundboard is doing. Excited to be back. And that first song you did today was just so stellar. And you were mentioning being in your interview on Moonlight, our Moonlight program. You were mentioning that you were influenced by Joni Mitchell's somewhat.
Oh, yeah. Partly because, and I didn't realize it at the time that I was listening to it, but Joni was actually deeply influenced by jazz. And, you know, she had an album called Mingus that she
beautiful.
Actually.
Yeah, I have that album.
Yeah, which is, it's an unusual and beautiful album.
And wasn't there another one, Hissing of the Summer?
The Hissing of Summer Lawns, which I have heard was Prince's favorite album of Joni Mitchell's. He was a huge fan of Joni Mitchell.
I just loved how she just never stopped growing in her musical. You know, she started as a very kind of rudimentary guitar player.
She actually played a dulcimer because
that's right.
she couldn't play didn't learn to play the guitar until later.
Yeah, and
Actually,
then the
yeah.
open tunings, you developed lots
The
of
open tunings, and
Yeah.
I love playing with the open tunings, although I'm not doing anything today with an open tuning.
That's okay. But do something else for us, because I want to get
would.
right to it.
And actually, this is going to be, all of the songs that I'm doing today are going to be on my new album, which I hope will be out by, at the very latest, the middle of May. It's called From the Left Side of My Heart. And it's going to be 15 cuts and 14 songs. And I'm fortunate enough to have Ken Yates, who is a songwriter from Canada, has given me permission to use one of his songs, Leave Me the Light On. So it'll be the first time I'll be covering someone else's song on a solo album.
How wonderful.
I'm excited about that as well.
Well, we're looking forward to that.
So this song, we always get asked about how we write songs, and I wish there was some. There are formulas, but I wish there was some formula that I could just sit down and go, now I'm going to write the perfect song. But when my husband had died, someone had given me a gift that had a little birch heart on it, and I had it hanging in the house, and I was going to take and hang it outside and set it by the front door. And literally from the time it took me to walk from the front door to my kitchen, the whole first verse and the melody came to me as like in a flash. And so I think of this song as a gift from my husband, and it's called I Will Be Here Still. Hang a wooden heart from a branch in a willow tree. Let it weather there and remember me. Let grace and time do the work they will. When the heart is gone, I will be here still, loving you. In the darkest night, when my face you cannot see, close your eyes and let your heart soar free. I will come to you on the softest wings. You will hear my voice as the night bird sings, loving you. Everything must end. That's how it all begins again. But if you should doubt that my love is true, here's what I would have you do. Plant a seed in the earth so warm and sweet. There let it rest and through the winter keep. As spring does come and the seed will grow, when you see that green, you will surely know that I'm loving you. Everything must end. That's how it all begins again. And if you should doubt that my love is true, here's what I would have you do. Hang a wooden heart from a branch in a willow tree. let it weather there, and remember me with grace and time. Do the work they will when the heart is gone. I will be here still.
Beautiful, beautiful song.
Thank you.
I love when I was listening to your interview again on our Moonlight program. I love the way you talked about this loss in your life as a change in relationship. Mm-hmm. I love that concept, that how it's just a change in the relationship, and things go on, but they've changed.
It is, and that's one of the things that this last song it did for me. It helped to make the thing that felt most painful to become familiar rather than easier. It's easy for people to say, "Oh, it gets easier with time." It's not that it gets easier; it gets more familiar. So you're used to it. It's like something that aches, and you can ignore it sometimes, and it sits kind of in the background, but it changes the relationship to the person who's gone.
I think those experiences, I don't want to trivialize this in any way, but I think those experiences of loss that we have in our lives really help us deepen to our empathic selves.
Absolutely, for sure.
And that and again, this interview was so full of gems, and you were talking about, the act of songwriting as a kind of spiritual path. Mm-hmm. And I thought that was so interesting, and I feel that way too about it, or I feel that way about all creating. I'm sure you do too, but just creating anything is kind of it's part of a spiritual path, and. But I don't want to talk too much because I want to go right into another song. Is that okay?
Into another song.
Yeah.
It is. And actually, this will be the last cut on the album. And it's probably the most upbeat song that I've written maybe ever. And so I think that kind of brings the album, which is this journey of my own grieving and mourning, into perspective. It brings it around, so that what you look for in the end is to find a reconnection with joy. And so that's what this one hopefully gets to do, right? So
I can't wait.
This is Take Me Home. I was born to do something, but I didn't know what. I lost my faith, but I picked it up. I've got dirt on my shoes and hope in my cup, and I wanna go home again. They say the past won't catch you if you let it go, and that you can't go home, but still you never can say which way the wind is gonna blow. And I wanna go home again. Take me home, I'm traveling light. Take me home, that's where I've set my sights. Take me home, I wanna make things right. Yeah, I wanna go home again. You know a little bit of kindness will get you far, and a little bit of gratitude for where you are. Let love always be your true North Star. Yeah, I wanna go home again. Take me home, I'm a traveling light. Take me home, that's where I've set my sights. Take me home, I wanna make things right. Yeah, I wanna go home again. So when I die, take my ashes and scatter me wide. Take me to the ocean and the mountainside. Set me on the breeze and let me ride. Yeah, I wanna go home again. Take me home, I'm a traveling light. Take me home, that's where I've set my sights. Take me home, I wanna make things right. Yeah, I wanna go home again. Take me home, I'm a traveling light. Take me home, that's where I've set my sights. Take me home, I wanna make things right. Yeah, I wanna go home again. Take me home. Take me home. Take me home. Thank you.
What a uplifting, integrating kind of song, you know. It's,
I hope so.
yeah, I think of your, you know, you're talking about your songs and the way you process life through them. And I think how they have this sort of integrating psychological function for us, I think.
You know, a friend of mine, Cozy Sheridan, who's a singer, a fabulous singer-songwriter, once said that, you know, it is the job of those of us who are the creators, the performers, to give voice to what people feel but don't necessarily have the words for.
Right.
And I thought that was, you know, that's really true.
I think your songs really do that. I think
Thank you.
they capture a lot of what we all feel. And we sense their universality when you sing them. They're just
That's my hope.
yeah. Well, that's just great. What a wonderful songwriter you are.
Thank
we're
you.
so lucky to have you here in Indiana, and
Thank you.
you're a state treasure.
Hey, I like that. You know, that maybe someday I can get close to Carrie Newcomer on that. If only, right? And I don't know. Can I mention that my website?
You can mention.
All right, great. So you can find me if you Google my name, Patti Shaffner, Shaffner. My website is jazzdakini.com, and that for people who are going, what? Bikini, zucchini? It's actually jazzdakini.com.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, I hope many people search you out because you
I hope so,
certainly
too.
deserve it. It's been a wonderful thing having you here today, Patti.
Thank you, George. I'm so glad to be back here and with this wonderful crew that you have.
Oh, yeah, they are wonderful, aren't they?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that's great. John, can you take us home?
I'd be happy to, George.
With support from Judith Robert, and in the memory of our good friend Tom Kapazinskis, and with additional support from Marshall County Community Foundation and the First Source Bank, you've been listening to the Wild Rose Moon Radio Hour.
Well, thank you so much, Jacob Marino, and thanks to Patti Shaffner for driving all the way down from the region, sharing her beautiful songs with us. Thanks also to poet Kayleen Johnson-Sullivan for helping us celebrate Poetry Month with her inspiring images from the natural environment of Alaska. Thanks to Cindy Davis and Cindy Boner for their help performing the work. And of course, the great Matthew Carter Scutchfield for his accompaniments. Thanks for the talented Ryan Meir running the last Mevo production of our radio show for Facebook. and Nate Butler for his mixing and sage audio profundity. Thanks to Matthew Birdmoser, our photographer, Howard Gibbs, our camouflage style and stage manager, Marcia Heinsberger, and Jennifer Reed, our sparkling hospitality team, Michelle Schricker for her undying support of the moon and its mission, and thanks to Jim Yoakum, who is currently turning our sound stages into 4-camera production studios. Also, special thanks for Mary Schricker for putting up with me when I was younger, and Gene Pazdurka, who lives in our hearts forever. John, is there fire in that nitro wax?
It's made out of fire.
Oh, go.
So when you think
Oh, yeah.
you lost that life,
You better believe it.
oh, pain and heartache, fill your soul with strife. Just remember,
Oh, please remember.
as you're tumbling down,
Woo!
it won't be long
Sing it with us now.
till the river goes round.
Here we go. The river goes round, around the bend. The river goes round, round, round till the very end.